Joining us now is News Corp columnist Angela Mollard and entertainment reporter for news.com.au Bronte Coy. Ladies, welcome to the show. Now let's start with royal visits. Bronte, do you think the King's recent health issue, do you think that there is going to impact this year or really any future overseas travel for the couple?
You said it so well at the top there, which is that it is a political minefield at the moment, these overseas visits. But to put it bluntly, Charles is not in a position in this transitional period for the monarchy to be seen to be shirking away from anything that he has planned to do, for example, Samoa and Australia this year, and also shirking away from any of that potential unpleasantness that will arise. William, most of them have seen the light in that you need to look into it and make at least some comment around the issue rather than be seen to be hiding away. So while there's a lot of compassion for the royals at the moment because there's a lot of health issues going on, we've got Fergie, Kate and Charles, I think at the same time, the things that he's lined up to do are really things that he's going to be held to account. I think he will continue to want to show up and be seen to be that hard worker and someone who gets out there. He came onto the throne as an older man, obviously, and he didn't really have the opportunity to win the people over a lifetime the way his mother did. But I think he's going to want to be seen to be really hard at work and getting out there to meet people.
And I think Bronte makes a great point. Like, what are the considerations that the royal family thinks about when it's planning these sorts of visits? And are some of those historical issues, is it better just facing them head on and dealing with them?
And they've said that that's what they want to do. I mean, part of the role now is diplomacy, and they've talked about the fact as royals that they will support what each nation wants to do and build a new relationship after, going forward, however that should work. Look, I think this is interesting because these trips are planned a year in advance. So this one later this year will already be planned. And if you think about it, when Meghan and Harry came to Australia in 2018, they did 76 engagements in 16 days. That's 4.75 engagements a day. There is no way the King can be doing that number of engagements. I think they'll lean more into the areas of interest, sustainability, but also it's the timing of the year because Camilla loathes, as you said in your editorial, she doesn't like the heat at all. We see her with an umbrella whenever she's in Queensland. So that will be a factor later in the year. So they'll be trying to moderate it for both of them, as they are at an age now when most people of that age are retired.
And it's harder to cope with things like the heat when you are in advanced years. On to the health of the royals. Charles and Catherine have both obviously undergone recent procedures. How's Kate faring?
So details around Kate's situation have been a lot more scarce. Obviously, she'd had the surgery by the time we even found out that it was happening. In that initial statement, it was said that it was successful. So that was, as we learnt about it, we were also reassured. Ongoing, it seems that she's doing well. She's still in hospital and she's had plenty of high-profile visits from William, and even Charles, before he went in for his own treatment, popped over to her ward to see her. But by all accounts, she seems to be recovering well, but that doesn't change the fact that she's looking down the barrel of weeks and weeks of recovery from whatever this specific surgery was. But it seems to be on track with what they had projected.
Excellent. Now, the King's surgery, quite routine. Camilla is already trying to soften him up to tell him he has to take it easy. And we understand he could be out for up to a month. What is the latest?
Oh, he'll be working. Look, she said at his 65th birthday and at his 70th birthday, he will not stop working. He works right through late at night. In fact, Prince Harry once said, I think it was on his 70th birthday, that his dad would have dinner increasingly later. He'd go back to work after dinner. He'd fall asleep at his desk and they'd go in and he'd wake up with paper stuck to his forehead. So, look, we know he's a workaholic. He doesn't stop for lunch. He has a late afternoon tea and then he has dinner late. I mean, he has waited for this job all his life. So good luck to her getting to him to try and stop. I think it's more her that wants to sit back and have a read of a book rather than be, sort of doing 400 engagements a week. Yeah. So I think she'll have some influence, though.
She will, hopefully.